allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll get started. Approving the minutes, February 26th meeting.
So moved.
Second. Baker, Wilson, all yes?
Yes.
Okay. Public comment. Anyone sign in, Bill? Okay. We received no comments on the proposed school calendar for the 2019-2020 school year. Do you have anything?
I'll just, if it's okay with you, Mr. Curry, I'll just review real quick what we talked about.
Okay.
You have a copy of the calendar in your agendas. Sean, do you have a calendar?
Yeah.
Copy of the calendar? As I discussed with you a couple of weeks ago, the 19-20 school year calendar is very similar to our current year's calendar. We are bringing our employees back a day earlier than we have the last 3 or 4 years, and explaining the reason why was because of graduation. Graduation has been held the weekend of Memorial Day on that Friday the last few years, and the way the calendar broke, in order to be able to have graduation on the, the 22nd of May, we had to back the calendar up a day. So we're bringing employees back on Friday, and we'll have Monday and Tuesday to get, for them to get ready in their classrooms, and the students are back on the 14th of August. We have 4 PL days scheduled in the calendar. Those coincide with our faculty senate days or meetings. October the 14th and February the 17th are also holidays, so we know that a lot of the federal governments, the federal government as well as our post offices, banks are closed on President's Day and I think Columbus Day in October. So we just put those days in there to coincide so the students will have those days off. Christmas break is 1 day longer than it was this current year, next year. And again, that was also because of graduation. We had to add an extra day in there to make the calendar work out for us. I think I shared with you, you can't have more than 5 instructional days remaining at the end of the school year after graduation. So following those guidelines, that's what we work from to work backward to build this calendar. The school year, or the first semester, will end on January the 9th. And then the last day for students, if we don't have to make up for any lost instruction, will be June the 1st next year. And I'll ask if there's any questions.
The only thing that jumps out at me, and I'm sure that there's a reason you can't do this, but just thinking about what you just said, you added an extra day over Christmas break, but we're bringing the teachers back a day earlier, which effectively is 3 days earlier because it knocks that weekend out for teachers. Is there any reason why break couldn't stay the same length and bring the teachers back on that Monday rather than a Friday? I mean, I know if I were a teacher and I were losing that last weekend, I had to come back on a Friday and then had two days to get ready Monday and Tuesday the following week, that might not sit real well with me.
Well, what we played with, it was, I guess, the lesser of two evils. We weren't really crazy about bringing employees back on a Friday, but if we had to gain a day, it would have been over Christmas break, and we would have been bringing those teachers in on December 23rd, and it would have had to been an OS day round.
Okay.
Which, if that's the case, then it could have turned out to be, sometimes we get snow or inclement weather in December, November. It potentially could have been a day we'd have to make up. And,
Well,
I had the kids.
I mean, as simple as a concept as it was to me, I'm sure you all had looked at it, and this is the absolute best way that it works out.
Yeah, we wrestled and we'll try to figure something out there, because we really wanted to bring employees back on
The
the
money.
committee. But as I said a couple of weeks ago, this is a one-time situation for us, because looking at graduation, the date in the future of the next 2 or 3 years, that's not going to be a problem.
Okay.
So we'll have to get back to our regular schedule. So 1 year this month, what we've been doing.
Now, are they through up at the legislature messing with the school calendar?
Yeah, there's no calendar up there now.
Well, that was gonna affect next year's calendar.
It had potential. So, yeah. it's
Just curious, did you get anything in writing about the calendar? Any comments from anyone in writing?
No, we've not had any comments. Again, the board will, this is not on the agenda for approval tonight, we'll have it on March 19th board agenda for approval. And we don't have to submit it until May the 4th. Now, we'll go, as soon as the board approves it, I'll send it up there and let them look at it, make sure there's not any issues, which there shouldn't be.
Just glad we're out. You all are way out ahead on this in terms of, you know, if something happened in the legislature, we still have time to monkey with it, so. Never anything wrong with being a little early on
No.
something like this.
You got anything else?
That's all I have.
You got anything? Okay, we'll go to reports. Mr. Ray Ellis could not be with us tonight.
He'll be here at the 19th meeting, and will provide, its later dates. I think it's a statutory meeting, as Susie pointed out to me this morning, because that had gotten past me. And he'll provide the board with the finance update as well.
Okay. Okay, we'll move to administrative items, then. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Well, Mr. Baker. That's the next, yeah.
Okay, we've got an addition to item A. We just found out this morning, Susie got a phone call that it's not just Duval students. So this should read, out-of-state trip for Duval legendary leader students and Lincoln County High School Student Council to a play at the Paramount Arts Center in Ashland, Kentucky, March 15, 2019. So you need to add Lincoln County High School Student Council. Item B, Marshall University student Shelby Varner to student teach at Lincoln County High School in the music department with Mrs. Kimberly Cook. Item C is school volunteers who on occasion may also serve as bus chaperones, athletic events, academic competitions, or school outings, and have completed volunteer orientation.
Okay, is that an all yes vote with the changes made to item A?
Yes.
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 Okay, finance, I guess, Mr. Linda, you're gonna handle that part tonight? Do I have a motion?
I'll make.
Smith,
I'll second.
Baker? Okay, Mr. Linda?
Scheduled invoices totaling $911,289.02. Attachments are available. Invoices are available for public review at the county office, and budget supplements totaling $1,910,877.98. Attachment.
Is that an all yes vote?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move to personnel schedule. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Second.
Mr. Baker? Okay, Mr. Linda?
Okay. Item A, appointment of short, long-term substitute professional personnel. Item B, employment of professional personnel. Item C, transfer of professional personnel pending issuance of certification. Item D, employment of substitute service personnel. Item E, employment of service personnel. Item F, transfer of service personnel. Item G, employment of extracurricular personnel. Number one on that, please strike Herbert Atkins. He withdrew that, we will have to repost that.
Item H, leave of absence. I, retirement and resignation, and abolish service personnel position at Hamlin PK8 for cook 2. We have a ratio for cooks, and they were a cook over, and we planned on cutting one anyway this year, so the lowest one there was seniority, found another job and resigned, so we're just gonna go ahead and abolish that now, because we was one over there anyway. And then, tomorrow, Mr. I don't know if I'll be alone or with Mr. King. Mr. King's been out sick all week also. We're going to Marshall for a job fair, then we're going to State for a job fair on Thursday. And then next, with the calendar I gave you, just a reminder, in case you get some calls, next Monday we'll be delivering RIF and transfer letters and mailing them out on the 12th, Tuesday. Notification for hearings of employees they have to request those by March 22nd, and we still have a tentative date of March 28th for hearings, if we have any hearings. And the board will be asked to vote on those on April 16th, and then if there's some corrections, we'll still have an opportunity April 30th to do that. We have to do it before May 1st, so we have a couple board meetings to do that in. That's all I have.
Okay. Is that all we have to vote on the personnel schedule?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we go down to comments and concerns. Any board members got anything? Mr. McGee?
Just a reminder that on March the 19th at 5 p.m., we'll have our student celebration. We'll recognize our Math Field Day, Spelling Bee, Young Writers, and Martin Luther King poster contest winners that evening. Of course, Sean, as always, you're invited.
Thanks, sir.
Join us. Don't know what's on the menu. Susie and I have discussed it. Yes.
Do you have anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay, if that's all we've got, we'll ask for adjournment. We'll have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wilkerson,
I'll second.
Mr. Baker, we'll adjourn until March 19th. So we have to vote?
Yes, sir.